was too busy to be helping out at church, I still benefited a lot from it, and I learned so much. So I want you guys to understand that you will benefit from getting involved, okay? But that can't be your motivation. You need to be doing it for the right reasons. And other things that bring unity among the church is things like church meals, just getting together and having a meal with each other. The disciples did that all the time in the New Testament. This conference is something else that is bringing you guys together, and it's helping form unity and friendships and all those things. And that's just an extra event that is going to create more unity amongst you guys. Meetings and get-togethers and fun nights are all things. Just really excuses to get together bring unity when we're working together as Christians. So what can we do outside the church that will bring unity? Because remember, if you're just doing things inside your own church building, then you're only going to accomplish unity to a certain extent. But the body of Christ is not just your church building. It's just not your institutional church. It's the whole body of Christ, all the believers. And so we need to try to do things outside of our church as well. And things we can do outside our church are getting involved in community programs, working with the homeless, or sorry, my computer just went black. Community programs, homeless, doing things in your schools, working with the people in your schools or other Christians in your schools that are from different churches. Coming together in those ways not only brings unity amongst people from different churches, but also brings non-Christians to Christ. We have to bring the church to the people. We can't expect the people who are not saved to come to the church. Okay, so that's really important too. If you really want to be effective, if we want our unity to show the world that Christ is in us and that Jesus' love is working through us, the only way they can see that is if we are going to them, because they're not just going to flock to us supernaturally, okay? Well, anyways, that doesn't usually happen. So we need to be involved outside our church. Another thing that I wish so much that more churches would do was to get involved with each other's programs that they've started up. There's a lot of churches who duplicate and reinvent the wheel with different programs they've started. For example, if I want to help out with the homeless people and my church doesn't have a homeless outreach, should I approach the church and say I'd like to start up a homeless program where we can feed homeless people on nights of the week so that we can show them the love of Christ? Or should I go out and see if maybe there's another church that's already started that? If there's another church that has already gone out and started working with the homeless people. And I think that's something very important that we need to do, because the more of us that are working together, then the better the results will be of what we're doing. And if each church is doing their own little thing, you're only going to get that many people and that many different opinions and that many different perspectives involved in what you're doing. But the more people, the more opinions, and the more perspectives you have working with something, the more you can accomplish. And again, us working together shows so much about the love of Christ through us. And that's going to make the difference in the world. So why working together is essential? There's a lot of reasons why working together is essential. And we've already covered some. One example I have for you is Jordan, my brother, one of your youth leaders. He and I, and my other brother Dominic, we grew up together, obviously. We're brothers. But we had a chore that our parents told us to do. We were supposed to do dishes every night after supper. Just enough dishes for the one day. So it usually wasn't that many dishes, even though we thought it was when we were young. But now sometimes I let my dishes pile up for too long, and it's a lot more dishes than we ever had to do when we were kids. But so the three of us would have to do dishes after supper. And it's something that maybe would have taken us half an hour at the most. But sometimes it took us like 2 hours to do dishes because we couldn't work together. We couldn't get along. We would actually like get in fights over the silliest things. Like maybe I would complain that the water is too hot and I can't put my hands in there because someone else filled the water instead of me just putting a little bit of cold water in there. Or if I complained the water was too hot, then and I would go to put some cold water in there, then my other brother, Jordan or Dominic, would be like, "No, you can't do that because it's too cold for me if you do that and it won't clean the dishes properly." Just silly little things that don't matter, right? Or we would argue about who washes and who dries and who puts the dishes away. And little things like that, we would actually like get in fights. I remember one time my parents came home, and there was bloodstains on the floor because me and one of my brothers, we started fighting and my nose started bleeding all over the carpet and we got in a lot of trouble. Anyways, what happened in the end was that we fought so much doing dishes that my parents made us do dishes alone after supper. And that sucked. It took longer and it was boring because you had nobody to talk to. So doing dishes together, if we would work together, would have been an awesome way to do it. We would have been more efficient, more effective. We wouldn't have been lonely doing dishes, but instead we had to do it by ourselves, and it took longer. And that's just the way it was because we didn't know how to work together. So I want to encourage you guys with that story. Just know how essential working together is. Okay, it's something that makes the world a difference. If we try to do everything on our own, we're not going to accomplish much. We need to work in unity. So just to sum up here, what we've talked about, we are a body, okay? And the body works best when all the parts are working together. When we work together as a body, we're sharing an experience with each other. And that's another amazing thing about working in unity, working as a body, working together, is that really what gives you purpose and a goal of doing something is just being able to have the ability to share what you've done with somebody. We're relational people. We want to share things with people. So much can be done and accomplished when we work together. Doing things on our own is much more difficult, and it's hard, and it's slow. Having more people together brings a wide variety of opinions and ideas, and if we take those ideas and opinions humbly, then we can maximize our effectiveness as Christians trying to achieve something together. We learn and we grow, as we looked at in our faith as well, when we're working in unity. And the world will see Jesus through us when we work in unity. They'll see love, and they'll want to be a part of a family that is functional, part of a biblical family that works. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you guys about unity tonight. I hope that you can understand it a bit more. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about just some specifics. Tomorrow morning we're going to be talking about our giftings and how that plays into with unity, works with our giftings, and our giftings work for unity. And then tomorrow night I'll also be talking about serving. And we're going to just look at how these three things really work together, and when you get a hold of those three things, that you can accomplish so much and do so much. Okay, so I hope you guys at least learned something tonight. I hope you took notes. If you need reference to any of the scriptures when I'm here tomorrow, you can ask me and I can give you the scriptures I went through, okay? So thanks for having me here. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Jordan, for inviting me, and I'll talk to you guys later, okay?